Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? Them, it's your boy Camp Topical Juice, and I am back with a very, very interesting video today. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about Centrl, and more specifically the topic of, is Centrl profiting from black pain and trauma and things like that? I'm going to come out and categorically give you my answer first, and then I'm going to elaborate through the rest of the video. I don't think so. I'm going to get into that. Now this topic actually came to me because I was talking to my friend Nicole Davis, and she brought this up. I'm not too sure if she was speaking about it or saw maybe a discussion stem online, I'm not too sure, but she was the one that posed that question to me and framed it to me still. So I was like, rah, that's quite an interesting point. Let me actually look at both sides and explore that. And then actually, when I went on Centrl the other day, maybe even yesterday, I saw that Hot Desk was back and Lani Good was on it and blah, blah, blah. And I think they were actually talking a bit about Centrl and like the show and it kind of being a bad representation of black people, or whether it's a bad representation. So I wanted to get into this a little bit and actually just give you my opinion. So like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me. Obviously press that subscribe button for me, and if you want to support your boys' merchandise, it's in the description below. Now let's get into this. So, as I said to you, I don't believe Centrl is necessarily profiting from black trauma, because at the end of the day, yeah, black trauma is there whether we like it or not. So if it's there, it's obviously going to be explored, it's obviously going to be shown, it's obviously going to be highlighted, portrayed, whatever fancy word you want. Do you understand? So if Andy, for example, from Centrl isn't going to do it, and it isn't showcasing certain parts of black culture, black pain through, you know, some of the conversations that he showcases, someone else is going to do it. Now let's think about slavery movies and things like that, right? How many movies do we know about Jim Crow, slavery, racism, all that stuff? And the director of that big Warner Brothers, or the director of Disney, or so on, so all those people producing those black traumatizing films, who do you think the directors are of these companies? They're white. Do you understand? They're white people. So you've literally got white people and other ethnicities profiting from black pain, but you've got a problem with Andy, a black person, talking about black trauma and showcasing black trauma. That doesn't make no sense. If anyone's going to showcase the kind of pain that our culture goes through and certain things that we talk about, it should be a black person. Do you understand? Now, obviously, the other side of the coin is I don't think Andy pays the people for Centrl. I don't think they actually get paid. So he does make all the money. But I don't really see anything wrong with that necessarily, because clearly these producing companies, these kind of network companies, network channels and all that, the benefit from being on them is the exposure. That's what kind of your reward is. Your payment seems to be exposure. It's not monetary value. I think the monetary goes to Andy and the business or whatever, and then you get the exposure. I don't know, I'm just saying. So from that side of things, yeah, you could argue he does, because he doesn't actually pay the people. And obviously, in addition to that, the topics that Centrl showcases are traumatizing, you know, like, if it's like full disclosure, for example, being one of them, Blue Therapy, another. Now, we all know Blue Therapy staged. They were talking about very, very traumatizing things. Like, don't forget, people, in Blue Therapy, the final episode of Blue Therapy, Choma was talking about having an abortion, bro. Was talking about terminating pregnancy and really crying and stuff. Like, that is a mad episode. That was a mad thing to watch, for a girl to cry and act, by the way. I mean, don't get it wrong. I mean, I see both sides of the coin. Some people were a bit pissed off at that, the fact that they knew it was fake or whatever, and they took that stance. But actually, in fact, this is why I'm the realest on YouTube, because I'm consistent. Even back then, when I reacted to Blue Therapy, yeah, I literally defended Blue Therapy then. I defended Centrl then. I said, listen, terminating pregnancies, that is a very, very real life thing. That happens to real life people, and that is traumatizing for real life people. So I'm not mad that they showed that. I'm not mad that they took that angle and took that approach, because that's what happens to real life people. That's an issue in people's relationships. It's a fact. So I'm not even mad that people at that Centrl decided to put that as part of the script, because it's a real powerful thing. So yeah, I'm consistent. I believe that I don't see anything wrong with showcasing kind of black people talking about the trauma, things like that. Now, don't get it twisted. Some of the shows they have on there are not great representation for black people. There's no two ways about it. Backchat, I can't lie, I've never actually liked Backchat Too Tough. until I started to react to about season 5. I think I reacted to season 4, season 5. I watched an episode of season 1 back in A levels when the whole of the UK, the whole black culture was talking about it. It was very, very popular back then, extremely popular. Like, if you lot remember, there was even talks that Channel 4 would purchase it and showcase it on Channel 4 or something, which I think is a bad idea. That would have sent black people backwards. I can't lie, because the black people they had on that show, a lot of them were so ignorant, like low IQ. I'm not gonna say no names, but a lot of them from season 1. I saw one episode and I was like, like, what is this? Because if people view this and watch this, they're gonna think that all black people are like this, or think like this, and move like this, and it's not true. So I do believe there's elements of some of the shows, like Backchat, for example, like especially the early seasons of Backchat, less so now, but more the early seasons of Backchat. That was a very poor representation of black people. Yeah. Now, I don't think that has anything to do with black pain and black trauma and things like that, but it was a poor representation. So if Channel 4 had commissioned that and pushed that to the wider audience, more specifically white people, they're going to think that we're all fucking animals and ignorant and you know what I'm saying, because a lot of people on there were, you know what I'm saying, you get it. So yeah, man, I personally believe like Andy has every right to earn the money that through his work, or benefit or profit from black stories, and because everyone else is doing it anyway. You've literally got Unilad, for example, doing stories, 20-minute stories of like black people or whatever, or it's a lot of, it's not just black people, it's all races, but I'm just saying black people are on there. Trauma of them, you know, like what's that guy called, Marvin Herbert, he's a black guy from London, he got shot in the face, you know what I'm saying, ex-gangster and that. Got shot in the face. That sounds like black trauma to me. Because unfortunately, gangbanging and the streets and black people are interlinked. You know, a lot of gang members that happen to be black, because the most poor, deprived areas and socially neglected areas are black areas. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Ultimately, I don't think Centrl are profiting from black pain, because if it weren't Centrl, it'd be someone else, bro. And what would you want someone who's Asian or white or whatever profiting more from black pain? And this is what I don't understand. Like, I don't actually know who's. I'm assuming black people are the ones that are pushing this narrative or questioning this, like, because white people don't really watch Centrl as much as black people do. So, using that base logic here, it's quite disappointing that it's black people that are pushing that narrative. It's quite disappointing that it's black people now being inquisitive and thinking, like, is Centrl profiting from our, like, blah blah blah? Like, bro, Andy's black, bro. Like, Andy's darker than me. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's got every right to want to showcase black people in the way he wants to. It's just, I believe, if he wants to kind of elevate, I do believe he should get more people like me on the show, pretty much. So I'm not just saying that just to get on the show, but it would transform the image a bit more, because I've got a clean image. Yeah, like, I'm very articulate, I'm intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like ignorant like half the motherfuckers he puts on the show on the platform. But yeah, man, like the video. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the bell to be notified, and I'll see you lot at the next video. Peace.